If you've ever felt like you're carrying something deep inside, something powerful, unexplainable, and sacred, this message is for you. You're not crazy. You're not confused. You're chosen. That weight in your spirit, that dream you can't quite put into words, that urge to stay silent when everyone else is shouting. It's not hesitation, it's heaven training you. You've been set apart. You feel things others miss. You hear what isn't loud. You carry what isn't yet seen. And that's not by accident. It's by divine design. The world might not understand your silence, but heaven does. You're not being delayed, you're being developed. You're not being hidden, you're being held. This is your reminder. You're not alone in this quiet season. Something incredible is growing in you. And when the time comes, it won't need to be explained. It will speak for itself. Keep listening, keep guarding, keep walking. Your time is coming, and it will be worth every moment of sacred silence. Not all battles leave visible scars. There are conflicts waged in the corners of the heart, far from the noise, where resilience is forged in silence. Those walking with deep purpose often carry an emotional weight no one else can see. Their strength isn't loud. It's the result of enduring without applause, of facing waves with no lifeline but faith. What the world perceives as composure is often the surface of a soul navigating storms. Behind steady eyes are nights filled with questions, moments of doubt, and 1,000 unspoken prayers. Explaining such pain is nearly impossible. Few would grasp the depth, and fewer still could hold it without judgment. So the ones set apart learn not to scatter their ache in every conversation, but to anchor it where understanding lives. Some burdens are too sacred to be shared lightly. Speaking them aloud to the wrong ears risks them being misunderstood, minimized, or worse, used carelessly. So the heart, guided by wisdom, chooses stillness over exposure. Trust isn't silence out of fear. It's discernment wrapped in surrender. Inner wars are not for display, but for divine dialogue. You are not here by accident. If you feel the pull, the knowing deep inside that you are chosen, this is your moment. Click the super thank you button and give $20 or more to unlock deeper insights, exclusive content, and a path that aligns with your divine purpose. This isn't just a contribution, it's a declaration, a step toward who you were meant to be. Answer the call, walk with us, and step fully into your destiny. Your journey begins now. There are chapters written in unseen hours where healing quietly takes root. Transformation happens not in spotlights, but in hidden spaces where only the unseen hand of grace can reach. Approval from others fades in importance. What matters is the steady rebuilding that continues when no one is watching. When strength is being shaped not through validation, but through presence. What feels like breaking is often birthing something deeper. These trials aren't punishment. They're refining moments that prepare the soul for what lies ahead. And those who endure such refining carry an authority born not from ease, but from survival. The weight they carry now will one day be the very force that lifts others. The journey isn't for those chasing recognition. It's for those willing to be transformed, even when no one claps. This path doesn't make one less human. It reveals the power of divine partnership. To feel deeply is not weakness. It is the price of being entrusted with depth. And the deeper the call, the more private the process. The moments when it seems no one notices, the silent breakdowns, the forced smiles, the whispered prayers, are not lost. They are collected. Not by people, but by the one who sees the heart. Every hidden cry is recorded, and when the time arrives, those tears will have a voice. and their echo will silence every doubt. This is not the end of the road. It is the shaping of someone who will rise, not because they were loud, but because they were faithful. Let the world see what it wants. Let heaven see what is real. The weight being carried is seen, the quiet endurance is known, and the day of revealing is closer than it seems. Do not cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn and tear you in pieces. Matthew 7:6. You see, when God gives you something sacred, a vision, a word, a calling, it's like a seed of rare treasure, a pearl straight from the heart of heaven. And just like that pearl, it wasn't meant to be tossed around carelessly. It wasn't meant to be handed over to just anyone who happens to be standing close. Why? Because not everyone has the eyes to see it. Not everyone has the heart to receive it. And definitely, not everyone is equipped to protect it. Imagine a farmer who just received the rarest seed on earth, something that could feed nations, something that could change generations. That farmer wouldn't just toss that seed into the wind or plant it in cracked, dry soil by the road. No, he'd study the land, prepare the ground, protect that seed with everything he's got. Because that seed is legacy. That seed is life. And that's exactly how heaven sees the vision you carry. It's not just a nice idea. It's not just a feel-good moment. It's a blueprint from above. It's heaven's fingerprints stamped on your soul. And let me tell you, when God hands you something like that, it's not meant to impress people. It's meant to impact destinies. The thing is, divine vision rarely shows up with spotlights or music cues. It doesn't walk into the room shouting. It slips into your spirit like a soft knock at midnight, like a flicker of light in a dim hallway. It doesn't need volume because it carries weight. When you felt it, you knew. It stirred something in you that nothing else ever could. That wasn't a random thought. That was heaven calling your name. But friend, hear me. Just because it's big doesn't mean it needs to be shared right away. Revelation is sacred, and when it's new, it's vulnerable. You wouldn't take a newborn baby and drop it in the middle of a crowd. You wouldn't give a diamond to someone who doesn't know how to recognize its value. So why give your God-given dream to someone who hasn't been prepared to handle it? See, some people mean well, but they don't have the spiritual depth to walk with you in what God's calling you to. And that's okay. That doesn't make them bad. It just means your vision requires something they may not carry. It means your destiny is tailored for you, and it won't always make sense to the crowd. Now, I know that's not always easy. You want to share it. You want to tell someone. You want to explain what you saw in that quiet moment, what you felt in your spirit when no one else was around. But sometimes, the very urge to tell is where the test lies. God wants to know, can I trust you to hold this before it's ready? Can I trust you to carry it like a treasure and not a trophy? There's wisdom in waiting. There's power in silence. The world screams, post it, prove it, announce it. But heaven whispers, protect it. What is precious must be preserved. What is divine must be guarded until the appointed time. You don't need to prove your anointing. You don't need to explain your calling. God already approved you, and when the time is right, He will unfold your path in a way that no person can stop, no enemy can block, and no critic can discredit. You were never called to convince people. You were called to obey God. Look back at the lives of those who were truly chosen. Joseph had dreams, but those dreams stirred up envy and betrayal when spoken too soon. Moses had a calling, but his early attempt to fulfill it in his own strength led to wilderness. Even Jesus, the Son of God, lived in obscurity for 30 years before stepping into his mission. Why? Because the preparation is sacred, the process is holy, and timing is everything. Let me tell you this. The fact that your vision doesn't make sense to others is not a sign to give up. It's a sign you're on the right track. Heaven-sized assignments don't fit in earth-sized boxes. And when people don't get it, that doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's not for them. You're carrying something eternal, something rare, something born in the secret place between you and God. Don't cheapen it by handing it over too soon. Sit with it. Pray over it. Build your strength in silence. Let your character grow while the vision develops. And when the time comes, when the time comes, you won't have to say a word. The fruit will speak. The favor will speak. The doors that open will speak louder than any explanation ever could. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You're in the divine greenhouse of growth. And what's being cultivated in silence will one day bloom so beautifully, the very people who questioned you will have no choice but to acknowledge what God has done. So stay steady, stay hidden, stay obedient. You don't have to push your way to the front when heaven is the one orchestrating your path. What he started in secret, he will finish in glory. Dear brothers and sisters, may the peace of God fill your hearts today. I come to remind you of a profound truth. Our lives are firmly established in God's divine purpose, untouched by the fleeting worries of this world. As Scripture tells us, give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. Luke 6:38. Like the mighty oak whose roots are planted deep in rich soil, our foundation is anchored in God's eternal truth. Every move we make, every stand we take, is upheld by His enduring strength. Today, you have the opportunity to participate in this divine blessing. By clicking the Super Thank You button and offering a gift of $50, you will sow into a harvest that will return to you many times over in God's abundant grace. And when He says now, you'll speak, you'll walk, and the world will see what heaven always knew, that you were chosen to carry more than just a dream. You were chosen to carry destiny. The reality is this: not every space can hold what heaven entrusted to you. Truth, even when pure, won't always be welcomed when the soil is hard. When something significant is birthed in your spirit, it doesn't need validation. It needs nurturing. Your confidence must be anchored not in others' reactions, but in the one who planted the seed. The unfolding of divine plans doesn't operate by human timelines. It may take seasons, even years, before what was shown in your quiet moments is visible to the world. But that delay is not denial, it's preservation. What is treasured is often hidden while it grows. Wisdom is knowing when to speak and when to shield, not out of secrecy, but out of reverence. There are callings too weighty to be carelessly announced. The path you've seen requires protection, not paranoia, but preparation. The forces working against your future don't need full details to attempt disruption. One misplaced word, one conversation with the wrong heart, can trigger resistance not meant for now. So trust that silence can sometimes speak the loudest. Divine vision is not a performance, it's a process. The more profound the purpose, the more fiercely it must be guarded. Let prayers water it. Let trust sustain it. Let discernment guide its exposure. When the time is right, its impact won't need explanation. It will be undeniable. No explanations are necessary when you're walking in alignment. The path ahead doesn't require convincing others. It requires courage and obedience. The blueprint in your spirit isn't for mass approval, it's for divine fulfillment. What's quiet today will one day speak louder than anything you could say now. Let that vision remain where it's safest, in the space between your faith and your Creator's promise. What seems invisible now is already in motion. Keep moving forward in silence and strength. Eventually, what was hidden will shine in a way no one can deny, not even those who doubted it from the start. There are moments when something stirs within, not loud, not obvious, but unmistakably sacred. It's not always about hearing words, it's about sensing direction, without needing explanation. Those who walk with a divine calling learn early on that not everything from above comes with fanfare. Much of what matters most is revealed in stillness, away from the crowd, meant for the inner room of the soul. There are insights that can't be traced to books, teachings, or mentors. They arrive unannounced, in the hum of routine, in the solitude of ordinary moments. Without warning, clarity breaks through, and the spirit recognizes this is personal. It's not meant to be broadcast. It's a tailored instruction, a gentle warning, a whisper about the path ahead, and it must be held with the weight it deserves. There's a sacred art to knowing what to guard. Some revelations lose their strength when exposed too soon. Timing is everything. Sometimes the very pause you feel when you want to share is a divine nudge, an invitation to protect rather than proclaim. It isn't silence born of fear, but of wisdom. Revelation is not always meant to be public. It is often a conversation that requires reverence, not repetition. Many have faced the internal pull between declaring and keeping. You've likely felt it, that moment when your heart races with insight, but something restrains your tongue. That restraint is not doubt, it's discernment. Not all things spoken from heaven are ready for earthly dialogue. Some words are too raw, too weighty, too premature for casual ears. Divine whispers aren't always meant to spark discussion. They're meant to shape you. What you receive in quiet communion builds spiritual resilience. It nourishes your core when the world feels hollow. These moments don't need an audience. They need your attention, your intercession, your stillness. What's poured into you in secret doesn't require applause. It requires stewardship. And here's the truth. The most powerful messages aren't shouted. They're hidden. They live inside you until the time is right. They don't demand explanation because they weren't given to prove anything. They were given to prepare you. Speaking prematurely to those who lack spiritual clarity can weaken the weight of what was spoken. Misunderstanding leads to doubt. Doubt chips away at belief. Spiritual maturity means knowing the value of privacy, to hold on to something because it's sacred, not because it's a secret, to resist the urge to perform what was meant to be protected. Growth happens in that quiet loyalty, in guarding what is still in formation. The unseen shaping will one day become undeniable fruit, but only if it's shielded long enough to root. Keep returning to that inner place. Let the words meant for your spirit remain there until the season of revealing arrives. Don't be rushed by the need to be heard. Trust in the timing of the one who spoke. And when the time comes, what was once tucked inside will emerge, full of power, clarity, and undeniable truth. Not because it was shouted from the start, but because it was carried faithfully in silence. True strength isn't always loud. It doesn't need a stage, and it never begs to be noticed. It emerges in the quiet choices, when quitting feels closer than ever, yet purpose keeps pulling forward. It's found in the hearts of those who've faced heaviness with grace, who've been broken but rebuilt without demanding the world to see the process. What looks like gentleness on the outside is often the result of fierce endurance within. It's easy to mistake calm for weakness in a world that equates strength with dominance. But those walking under divine purpose have learned that their greatest power isn't in proving, but in persevering. They've mastered the art of standing firm without needing to shout, of offering peace even when pain runs deep. Their stability isn't for admiration, it's for mission. There are lessons in restraint, in choosing not to share the source of strength with those who treat sacred things lightly. Some losses come from trusting fragile hearts with indestructible truths. Wisdom teaches the chosen to discern. Not everyone is meant to know where the oil flows from. Some things are preserved because they're holy, not hidden because they're shameful. This endurance doesn't come cheap. It's been built from moments of personal collapse, heartbreaks turned into resilience, and faith born out of ashes. The strength others admire is actually stitched together by moments when only heaven saw the tears. And the deeper the calling, the more invisible the battles. Real strength is entrusted, not flaunted. It's there to support, not dominate. It helps steady others. It shields those on the verge of giving up. It doesn't crave recognition because it knows where it came from and who gave it. The weight it carries is sacred, and heaven knows exactly how and when to use it for the greater purpose. Don't waste energy proving what's already been affirmed above. What was planted in divine presence can't be uprooted by outside opinions. You weren't strengthened to impress. You were prepared to carry something eternal. And what God establishes, no one can dismantle. Not all insights come through explanation. Some are etched deep within, bypassing logic and waking something eternal. There are moments when the Spirit catches glimpses that words can't hold, scenes, impressions, patterns too precise to dismiss. This isn't fantasy, it's sacred instruction disguised as imagery, often misunderstood by the untrained eye. Not every mental picture is just imagination. Some carry weight that outlives the moment. And when they come, you don't need anyone else to validate them. Your soul already knows they didn't come from you. But with these visions comes responsibility. To carry, not to parade, to process, not to perform. The urge to tell someone is real, especially when the images linger, when the heart is stirred, when confirmation feels urgent. But wisdom waits, because revelation isn't entertainment, and misplacing it can dilute its power. Even well-meaning listeners can mishandle what they weren't meant to carry. Now is the moment to share God's blessings by clicking the Super Thank You button on YouTube. With a donation of $100 or more, you can actively participate in His divine mission and contribute to His greater plan. Every offering you make reflects the boundless generosity of God, and I trust it will return to you abundantly, far exceeding your hopes. Always remember, His protection and blessing accompany your every step and every act of giving. You are a vital part of His sacred design. You are strong and radiant, steadfast like His mighty rock. Experience God's miracles. Feel the rewards of your generosity deep within your soul, and shine your light with boldness and faith. May you be richly blessed, and may the light of the Lord continually guide your journey. There are visions that act as keys for alignment, protection, and movement, but their impact is preserved in silence. It's not always about being understood, it's about being faithful with what you were shown. The time for release is rarely immediate. Some things need to be held, cultivated through prayer, and revisited in sacred spaces. Receiving something from above doesn't mean announcing it. It means honoring it. There's a difference. It's one thing to see clearly, it's another to know what to do with the sight. The process includes waiting, journaling, interceding, and most importantly, listening again. Because sometimes what was revealed is only the beginning of a larger picture. Revelation invites humility. It whispers, not demands. And those entrusted with spiritual clarity must learn discretion. You may notice what others overlook. You may feel what others dismiss. That doesn't make you strange. It means you're being trained to carry something deeper. Keep walking in tune with that voice. Don't rush to translate heavenly language into human terms. Let what you saw continue to shape you before it speaks to others. And when the moment comes to share, it won't be for validation. It will be for purpose. Until then, what's hidden will keep building you from the inside out. Growth in the spirit rarely makes a sound. It doesn't demand attention or rely on display. It happens quietly, inside the thoughts that shift, the decisions made without announcement, the moments of surrender no one ever sees. Those who are walking closely with divine purpose don't need recognition for their development, because what's changing is invisible to the eye, but undeniable to the soul. Progress doesn't always come with signs the world understands. You begin to see things more clearly, pray with deeper connection, respond with greater patience, and still, nothing may seem different externally. That's because divine transformation values foundation over visibility. While the world rewards outward performance, heaven honors inner alignment. There are seasons designed entirely for interior reconstruction. Nothing looks new on the surface, but something inside becomes more stable, more anchored. And the deeper that foundation goes, the less you feel the urge to explain it to anyone. The ones who are maturing learn to stay low and move deep, because true change doesn't need an audience. Preparation often hides itself in the background. Long before purpose becomes public, it is shaped in quiet, private moments. To keep still about your progress is not to diminish it, it's to protect its authenticity. Some things lose power when explained too early. Some breakthroughs are only secure when kept between you and the one who gave them. Voicing something too soon can place unnecessary weight on your process. Not every season is meant for sharing. There are days when the greatest move forward is unseen. Praying without the urge to post, studying without the desire to show, growing for the sake of truth and not validation. In those quiet places, roots deepen, convictions form, strength hardens. Let your consistency be the proof. Let your peace be the sign. Over time, those who once overlooked the change will begin to see it, not because you forced it, but because it could no longer be ignored. The soul tells its own story, and spiritual maturity always leaves a trail. Remain steady in your unseen work. Stay committed without chasing recognition. Divine timing has a perfect rhythm, and when the moment arrives, no door will be able to stay shut. Until then, protect what's being built within you. The quiet work matters more than anyone knows. New beginnings often whisper before they roar. When you feel that inner shift, an unshakable sense that something is changing, it's easy to want to tell the world. But wisdom holds back. When heaven introduces a new direction, it doesn't always come with approval or applause. It comes with instruction, and that instruction is often meant to stay between you and the source. The most sacred transitions need shelter. If you speak too soon, you may open space for confusion, resistance, or unnecessary pressure. There's a difference between confidence and carelessness. Trusting the process sometimes means guarding it fiercely, even from well-meaning eyes that aren't meant to see it yet. Quiet seasons aren't empty. They're strategic. They allow clarity to take shape before opposition arrives. Acting on revelation before it's rooted can sabotage what would have flourished in silence. Learning to wait, to hold back, to move undercover is part of being trusted with something greater. Advancement in the divine path requires discretion. Faith is not loud, it's steady. And trusting the instruction enough to follow without explanation is one of the purest forms of obedience. Keep walking, even when no one understands where you're going. Their understanding isn't required for your fulfillment.